That's always recorded. So we have about 4 things tonight to talk about. Number one, Remit core trading strategy. Number two, we have spoofing. We want to take spoofing together with stop loss hunting. It's the same thing. Then number four here is MDR trading and MOD technique using VCDev.io, that is market order tool. All right, so we're going to go straight into it right now. On Friday, it's not the first of all question and answer section. So if you have any question at all of any kind that is within the circumference of the curriculum of this training, please bring them on Friday. They're starting by 8:30 p.m. Bring them on Friday so that we'll take a look at it deeply. And then we'll also do some practice. That means we may take a little bit longer than usual. So please go and do your practice. You have been practicing and you have questions to ask. Please bring this question on Friday. Justice will be offered to those questions. So, okay, let's go straight into our for tonight. First thing is we'll talk about Remit core trading strategy, which we use MACD. I think I talked about MACD. That was one of those beginner classes. I think so. I'll also talk about it tonight and also show you what that strategy implies and how accurate it is when using them.
Hello, sir. Sorry for interrupting.
What's the problem?
Yes, sir. And the demand and supply. I don't think the class. I'm not sure whether I was not in class. Or I don't know whether it has been taught before the demand and supply because I have not like learned anything about that one in this particular class here.
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about demand and supply. I think the recording should supposed to be in the group. So
please
Mr. Hassan, you want to say something? Say what you want to say. Mr. Hassan, I can hear you. So you want to say something?
So I want to say something. It's Prosper.
Is it?
It's Prosper, sir. I'm about that demand and supply. I'm still looking for the video myself because I missed the class. Even the day you teach about merging also, I missed the class. I'm still looking for the video. If there's any possible way that we can trace it, your app so we can watch it.
The video, okay. I think from this coming batch of training, we will do this. We'll highlight, like we'll tag video with their topics. Sorry, recording with their topics so that it will be easy to be traced. It will be traceable in the group very fast. So if we don't do that, I think we will have difficulty in tracing those videos. I think all of those topics we've treated them. Even that margin stuff, we treat margin. We talk about features and then we talk about margin that day. Remember, these classes are taking long. I think this one is the longest class because of, I think, December also, the way we went for holiday in January, and then also this class also have ended, and then also I missed some classes and all of this stuff. Oh, it's okay. Um, okay, now if you miss that class, let's say if you miss the training, when the next batch will start, you can as well. Because this time around we'll do it in such a way that any topic I'm going to treat, I will write the topic out in the group so that you can join. You can join the training so as to
Okay, but excuse me. But
cover up with what you did not learn or what you miss. Go ahead.
okay, but excuse me, sir. We that have not failed any class, I want to know the demand and supply, is it the one of debt we did in Binance or imports and pullback? Because I'm sure demand and supply as a topic have not been treated, except if it is debt, is under debt.
Demand and supply have not been treated.
Yes, I even wrote it as one of the topics.
It does not
that have
be treated.
I can even tell you the names of the topic that was not treated and the ones we've treated. I tabulated everything here. So the word demand and supply have not been treated as a topic. Rather, if we see debt as demand and supply or imports and pullback.
No, market order debt is not demand and supply.
Okay, please, I take note. We've not treated it because I have not failed any class. And of course, I used to write all the notes and the topics are here. Even if you can give me a chance, I call them. What we've done is 13 topics. While
MACD trading strategy, I heard you. MACD trading strategy, which is also we call the remit curve trading strategy. But like if you know about MACD very well, MACD have two sides, sorry. The positive side of the MACD, which is from zero, this zero here, that's not possible, this zero here. So from zero here up is the positive side of the MACD, while from this point down is the negative side of the MACD. Okay. Now the MACD have these lines here. The red line is the signal line. This red line here is the red line, the signal line, while this blue line is the MACD line. The blue line, the MACD line, the red line is the signal line. Now we have what we call the MACD histogram. So these bars here, this bar formation is called the MACD histogram. Now MACD means moving average, convergence, divergence. The MACD indicator shows two things. Number one, MACD is a trend indicator. It shows the beginning of a trend and the end of a trend. Not only that, the MACD also shows where momentum is heading to in the market. So it can show you where momentum is heading to in the market by telling you how strong these bars are. So the longer the bars, it means the momentum is very strong in the market. And then when it's reduced, it means the momentum is going down now. That does not mean that as it starts reducing, the market will just crash. Or you can go back a little bit and then we'll start seeing markets going down again. But know that when these bars reduce in height, there's reduction in height of these bars, then it means that momentum is dropping from the market. And also, when you see an increase in momentum, just a year, we see an increase in momentum of these bars, which also means that there is a lot of selling pressure to the downside. Market is going to go down. And then we see reduction, means the market is going to go up. Because as it reduce from here, you can see my cursor very well. As it reduces from here, see, it will reduce and start forming on the positive side, which gives rise to another trend. So if you want to use MACD as a trend indicator, you have to take note of, okay, that from here, from this point here to this point is a trend. From here to this area here is a trend. This one is a trend on its own. This small place here is a trend. This place is a trend. The whole of from here up to this point is a trend. Just like that, from this point here down to this area is a bear market. From here like this up to this point is a bear market. If you look at it from this point, market go down, go up a little bit, go down again. MACD was already forming on the negative side. Then we see here MACD have started forming on the positive side, which also signifies that market is going to go. We see market goes up, and then if you look at the histogram starts forming on the positive side here, and you see momentum move up. Now it will reach to a point where the histogram here will begin to decline in momentum, just like we see from this area. The histogram begin declining in momentum, which leads to an increase in momentum again on the positive side of the MACD. Decline in momentum from the negative side of the MACD, giving rise to increase in momentum on the positive side of the MACD. Reason being that on the positive side of the MACD, we see an increase in price to the upside, which is a bullish market. If you look at here as well, markets come back down where the histogram was forming, having strength here. We see a decline in the histogram formation on the negative side of the MACD, give rise to markets going up. From this point, market goes up just like that. An increase in histogram. So the height of this histogram is very much, and then from here we see decline. This is an indication of momentum. We want to use momentum in the market. I think the MACD can be used. It's not accurate. It's not accurate. It's about say 65-70% accurate. It's not that accurate. And then it's also used as a trend. It shows you the beginning of a trend, the end of a trend. Short one for that matter. The beginning, so it's showing you impulse, retracement, just like that, which is a combination of what we call a trend. When you have impulses and retracements, gives you a trend. So this is the MACD. Now, this strategy, we are looking at the stochastic and the MACD. So if you bring up the stochastic here, bring up the stochastic here. When the MACD line and the MACD signal line is down in this formation, like is down, about not crossing each other totally, but about to cross each other, and you see the stochastic at oversold condition. First thing, it has to be below the negative side of the MACD. It has to be below the negative side of the MACD. I repeat again, it has to be below the negative side of the MACD. What does that mean? This line, the signal line, and the MACD line have to be below here. That's on the negative side of the MACD. When you see this and the blue line about crossing the red line, that is the MACD line, which is the blue line, about crossing this signal line, the stochastic at oversold condition, coming out of it is a nice 953 trade. It's a very simple stuff. So this curve, now you see this curve, it's a remit curve. You see this curve here. Once you're seeing this curve coming into the market on the MACD, you see this curve here about to cross, and you see stochastic at oversold condition. This will give you a nice entry. So if we look at here, around this area is where you're supposed to take a trade for the market to go. So even though you take a trade here at this point, market go up, come back down, and still move in your favor. Another example is this. With this strategy, you are not trading, you're not placing the trade with the stochastic when the MACD line and the MACD signal line is above the 0% line. That is when they are on the positive side of the MACD. When they are on the positive side of the MACD. You see, this area is a nice area to place a trade. Reason why? The MACD line, the signal line, come into the negative side, about coming out from here. It's a nice time to place a trade. It's a nice entry for you. Another one is this point here too. See this area here, oversold condition, market coming down. So once we are taking the trade around, let's give this trade here, around this point, after seeing this, you'll know that this is coming down. It's already out of the positive side of the market, coming into the negative side. It's a nice time to place a trade for the market to go up. It's not a guarantee. We know that nothing in the market is a guarantee, but if you do this, you will have some consistent result. If you look at here as well, see at this point here, stochastic at oversold condition, MACD about crossing each other at this point. It's a nice time to place a trade for you to take this short move. The same thing applies here too. If you look at here, you see if you have taken this short trade, although this is a downtrend, momentum trading could have not allowed you to take this trade, but I'm just giving for example. So if you look at this point as well, if you look at this point, this was a nice time to take this trade. That is, when you see this come inside of this area, you know that this is below this very line. That is, the MACD signal line and the MACD line is below, or it is on the negative side of the MACD coming down. At this point is where we see the market enter into oversold condition. Waiting for it to cross over, having the nice time to take a trade. Don't bother much even though the stochastic rise up. When it's about crossing each other, so you're taking the trade, as far as you've seen the stochastic enter into oversold condition, coming out of it is not a problem. It's a let me say a little guarantee that market is going to go up. This is another perfect place to take a trade. This is another perfect place to take a trade. This is another perfect place to take a trade with this strategy. Reason why? This is below this point. That is on the negative side of the MACD. At the negative side of the MACD, stochastic at oversold condition, market move up. At the negative side of the MACD, stochastic at oversold condition, market move up. At the negative side of the MACD, stochastic at oversold condition, market move up. Just like that. Now, if you look at this, I'm looking for where it fails. This would have failed a little bit. Yeah, this could have failed here. With this very strong momentum, it's gonna be wise. We take a trade. There is no divergence as well, so it's gonna be wise. We take a trade here. But if you look at it from this area, okay, I'm looking for where it fails. It's a very powerful strategy, but looking for where it fails on the charts. Looking for where it fails. If you look at it here, MACD enter inside here. Stochastic at oversold condition, market move up. Come back down again, MACD at the negative side, stochastic at oversold condition, move up. move up here. The same thing too. This you could have, okay, this is almost at the, but a little bit come down to the negative side, but you can mean another trade. This is another trade to take, another trade to take, and then this is being another trade as well, because at this point, MACD have entered into the oversold condition, so there have been another trade to take. But with the volume spike on this point, this means that market is going to go down after this move. And then what again? I'm just looking for where it fails. I know that this strategy is very, very powerful. It's very powerful. If you look at this, if you look at this, if you look at what we're looking at right here, this is a downtrend, okay? So let's say you were counter trend trading at that point. Now, when it comes to this area, markets move up, come back down. Please, I want to see this very, very important. Anytime you see market consolidation, anytime you see market consolidation like this area, market consolidation, and stochastic go down and enter into oversold condition or touch this line, please wait for breakout to the upside. Is a perfect entry. I mean, I know that there is nothing 100% in the market, but this one is a 100% guarantee that market is going to go up. Reason being that market was not going down. So why would stochastic enter into oversold condition? And then your confirmation is a breakout of that level to show that buyers are in the market, ready to move it up. So that's addition for you tonight. So if you go right here, you see the market come back down. Stochastic at oversold condition, market go up. This one in an uptrend. This other one I was talking about in a downtrending market. So in an uptrend, we are looking for two things. Number one, if you see a crossover here, if you see a crossover on the MACD, at positive side, and stochastic was at oversold condition, then after the oversold condition, you now see a crossover on the MACD. Know that market have capacity of going back down. If you look at here as well, at this point, this very area, this was at overbought condition. It crossed each other, market come back down. This one enter inside of it a little bit, enter into the positive side a little bit. We've seen this enter into overbought condition, market come back down. So if you follow this strategy, it's very, very powerful. I mean very, very, is super powerful. Super powerful. Especially on the longer time frame. And this is a remit curve trading strategy. And you have to, for the fact that it's super powerful, that doesn't mean that you should just trade it anyhow. You still have to read the markets, look at where momentum is going, momentum trading strategy, you do a top down, and make sure you are on the right path. Ensure that you're on the right path of the market before you can now trigger your trade, be it long or short position. So this is very, very important. You need to take advantage of it. In this case, you see at oversold, that is overbought condition. This was at positive side of MACD, crossing over it is an indication the market will crash. The same thing here at overbought condition. This is at crossing over each other here. It's after you see this over market coming down, crossing over each other here of the MACD line and the signal line is an indication the market is going to come back down. Just like that. If you look at, you won't take this one. You won't take all these ones. All these ones that are within, you won't take them. It's not important, don't take them. All these ones that is within the stochastic, don't take them. We're only looking at overbought and oversold condition. These strategies are very, very powerful and important. Now, let me take an example. Let's say in this case, market come back down, enter into oversold condition. MACD come inside of this area of this also oversold in the MACD, but this is the negative side of MACD. MACD line and signal line on the negative side, and then we see this kind of move. It's an indication that market is going to go up. So when you take this trade, let's say you take a trade here, you take a trade at this point, and then you use your ATR to put your stop loss off, just market above structure, set your stop loss here to this area. So your stop loss will possibly somewhere around here. This is far away from structure, so that the market come back down, we have this to hold it before this. All right. So if you take this trade as a result of this, then market goes up. Now, what you are looking for to exit the market is number one, the decline, a decline in the histogram of the momentum. So when you start seeing the decline in the histogram of momentum here, not only that, secondly, the stochastic have to be at overbought condition. A decline in the momentum of the histogram, and what we are seeing here at overbought condition should start coming down a little bit. That is when you should exit the market. The entry is what I was talking about, where in this case, the MACD line and the signal line come into the negative side of MACD. The stochastic at oversold condition, coming out of it is where you're taking your trade. So that has entry. Your stop loss, you can use an ATR to define where your stop loss should be, or use, if you are proficient in placing stop loss, you can use anything to place your stop loss, but don't place your stop loss in such a way that you will be hunt out of the market. Then you take your trade for market to go up, and then you use decline in momentum of the histogram and the stochastic cross over each other, this line cross over each other coming down. So this is an indication that market is going to come back down. So this is the strategy. So let's say you're looking for one-to-one, you use this. If I'm giving you even 1 to 2, this first side 41,600, 41,600. Around this area. So this will giving you 1 to 2 risk reward ratio if you're following risk reward ratio. Okay, so this strategy is very, very important. Let me find another example again for clarity. So if you look at this, okay, I was looking for where it fails. I think this fails, counter trend trading it fails, this as well failed, then this, let's say take a trade here, got this enter very well, take a trade here, take a trade at this point. Your stop loss will not be immediately here. At least if you see that your stop loss should be far away from structure, from market structure, so that if market come back down a little bit, it won't get you stopped out. Or even though it should stop you out, it won't be that drastic. Okay, so if you enter here, place a stop loss here, then this area, place the profit target, place the profit target. All right, so that's that for this very strategy. So the next thing is stop loss hunting. Just give me 1 minute. But the next topic is stop loss hunt and spoofing. Stop loss hunt and spoofing. Just 1 minute, please. All right, so sorry for that, I'm back now. Okay, so stop loss hunting and spoofing. So spoofing is illegal in some country, especially in the United States. I also think it's also in major in Canada, major European countries, and also in North Korea is illegal. Some countries too, it's not illegal, but spoofing is a manipulation technique by big players in the markets. That's what spoofing is. So they manipulate the market in such a way that the goal is to stop maybe retail traders out of the position and still move the market in that direction. So what to do to avoid spoofing and also to avoid stop loss hunting so as to place an ideal stop loss is what I'm going to talk about now. So pay attention. It's a very brief one, but it's very, very intensive. So that when you do your analysis, there are certain levels you should not place stop loss. And also there are certain levels that you should not take trades from. Merely looking at your charts, you should not take trade from certain level, or you should not place a stop loss at certain points. So when it comes to stop loss hunting, what's the cause of stop loss hunting? What are some of the mistakes that traders make that make them stop out, and big players stop them out in the market, and maybe most of the time still move the market in that direction? It's very important for us to know. Now, so let's say, for example, in this case, let's say, let me remove all this. We don't need all this indicators now. let's say, for example, yeah, you see this trade and said, okay, I want to take this trade here. You take this trade here. And then you place your stop loss. There are some persons on YouTube and also some persons on some textbooks. They tell you to place your stop loss immediately on the immediate support. The immediate support is this support here. Support. Immediately, markets can go up. If they come back down again, it will stop you out and move drastically up. Yes, it will go up, come back down. This is a hunt. This is a hunt candle. Market going to just go here and then after then see how market move to the other side. Very, very bad act. Bad act. The goal is to frustrate retail traders. To frustrate retail traders. So a big whales can just place a limit order with the intention of not executing it now. I don't want to get it executed, but please order in order for price to just shift a little bit back down and then cancel the order and then market start moving up. So spoofing is illegal in some country and also allowed in some country. Some countries don't even know that it exists. So don't place stop loss because that is one of the thing that leads to stop loss hunting. Don't place stop loss on the immediate support of which you are taking a trade. So in this case, don't place stop loss below here. As you say, place stop loss in such a way that, okay, I'm coming for that. So first thing is don't place stop loss like this. Second one is put stop loss at below or above obvious support resistance level. Put stop loss slightly below or above obvious support resistance levels. Very, very important. I think today we will belong into the because I need to take everything that I need to cover today. So we have more 2 topics. I'll take demand and supply since we've not taken it. I want to finish everything tonight so that on Friday it will be question and answer and revision. All right, so bear with me, please. Okay, so you place stop loss at obvious support resistance levels. If you look at it from here, from this market go up, retrace, go up, and then here it breaks structure. Structure was broken at this market go up, so market come back down after a breakout of this structure. This is a nice place to take a trade, and your stop loss should not be immediately here. It should be far way below, giving a buffer, or look for the next support. The next support, then you take slightly below the next support. So if we take this as the first support, this is second support, slightly below this second support will give the market a buffer, that is a room to breathe before continuation. That is in case market come back down. So you need to take note of that. So that is how you should not place stop loss. So don't place stop loss at obvious support resistance level, like immediate in this case, or you place it here. Maybe you want to short and you see this bearish candle here, you place stop loss here. Market can just slightly go up, so it's an obvious level. Don't place stop loss here. It should be far away above it to give it a room to breathe in case market go up. So these are two ways to which you should not place stop loss to avoid stop loss hunt. So when placing stop loss, you place such a way that some of the things that causes stop loss hunting is when you place stop loss around market noise environment. And then secondly, when you put it where there are obvious support resistance level. Now, how do you set a proper stop loss? You set a proper stop loss in such a way that it invalidates your setup. It should invalidate your setup. That means, in this case, is if you place the stop loss here, this is support to this support, and below it, just slightly below it should be a stop loss. That means invalidation means that for this market to come back down, it means that it's going to break this second structure. First structure broken, yes, market go up, come back down. Second structure broken. That is an indication that this market is probably really going down. In as much as we know that you cannot eliminate stop loss hunting from the market entirely, but it can be minimized. That's the goal, that you minimize it to the barest minimum. That even though in the future it got spike out or stop out, it does not mean much, like it's not heavy on you. Because when markets hit you out or stop you out and still move in that initial predicted direction, it's always very frustrating. So the first thing you do is you set your stop loss to avoid stop loss hunting, to avoid spoofing. You set it in such a way that it will invalidate your setup. That means if market should go down against you, you should lose, but market should not just swing up again in your predicted direction. That's what I mean by it should invalidate your setup. And then secondly, it should be far away from market structure. It should be far away from market structure. If you look at this, what does that mean? If you look at this, if you want to place a trade here, this is the structure of the market. This is another structure of the market. So it should be far away from market structure. So if this is the first market structure, if you place a trade here, that means market come back down. This level will hold it. If it come back down again, this level will hold it as well. So it should be far away from market structure. So if market should come back down, that means it will break this support, break this one before it will reach my stop loss. So it should be far away from market structure, which is talking about resistance and support level. Resistance and support levels. Now, know that I've said it over and over that you set your stop loss in relative to the time frame you are trading. Set it in relative to the time frame you are trading on. Don't use the same thing for 1 hour charts on 1 day chart. It will not work like that. The higher time frame chart tends to have bigger stop loss placement. That is, the length of the stop is always very big. There's also a reason for that. You can have reasons relative. And then another thing you can do is use your ATR indicator. I also want to believe that everyone knows how to use the ATR indicator. If you use the ATR indicator, it will not be that much, even though you be stop out, because you cannot avoid it entirely from the trading game. You'll be stop out few times. So these are the things you do to reduce or eliminate stop loss on number one, place a stop loss in such a way that invalidates your setup if markets go against you. And then I say you should place it far away from market structure. Place it from market structure, and then you can use your ATR. Remember that the time frame you trade on also matter as well. So that is stop loss hunting. So you can normally look at your charts and take trades. You can just on the norm look at your charts and take trades. Then when you're taking the trade, you will know possible area to place your stop loss, possible area to take profits for market to move on. So stop loss something is very, very important. You have to take note of that. Take note of that is very important. Now, let me talk about demand and supply levels. Think demand and supply levels. Okay, just give me 30 seconds. Demand and supply levels. 30 seconds, please. All right, sorry for that. Demand and supply levels is one of the most important topic that you should know how to use in the market. As a matter of fact, I don't know, although the curriculum has been changed, but thank you for reminding me of that, so that will make miss this very important topic for you guys. Okay. If I go back to 1D charts, no 1D chart here. All right. Let me first of all explain certain things. From simple economics or from elementary economics, you understand that when demand is high, price will increase. That's why you see price goes up in the markets. When demand increase, price will go up. When supply increase, that's when supply is higher than demand, price will come down. Reason being that there are enough people selling their goods and services, more than people that are buying from them. So price will drop. That's why I say price drops in the financial market, not only cryptocurrency, in the financial market as a whole. Okay, let me say this. If you are a crypto trader, I think not only crypto trading, especially if you traded Forex, what it does is it will make you be I think one of the things it has done for me is it will make you be very, very current. I'm not only about current in what is happening in your country, but especially what is happening in the world, especially developed nations. Or know what is going on in Washington, D.C., what Fed is trying to do, because you take advantage of those information to trade the markets. You know what is happening in Japan, what is happening in UK, and use all of these things as tool to trade the market. I think today, I don't mind me. I love news a lot. Today, German Chancellor, the person of Olaf Scholz, was in Russia for dialogue about alleged Russia plan to invade Ukraine. But I believe God is answering our prayer. Particularly myself, I've been praying very well, because if we experience war, everything will crash. I mean, the market will crash right down. There's nothing you can do about it. It will crash, because I don't even know what happened to Binance. So what I'm trying to say is that when you are trading like this, especially Forex, crypto is part of it, but it makes you very, very current. And then I want to also say that by let's say 13th and 14th of next month, I will be bringing up an opportunity to you guys in the Forex market. Very, very important. So I just want to make the announcement now, so that maybe some of you guys, if I forget, just remind me, so that it will be a source to which you can earn a passive income. I've traded Forex since 2017, but I've not seen that kind of structure before. So it's something you can do without learning FX. If you want to learn FX, we have instructors that teach Forex, since I'm very, very busy. So just remind me, it's an opportunity that will help you guys greatly. The reason why I don't want to expose you guys to it now is because I'm still vetting it, cross check and check and check and check and check and check, even though we know that nothing lasts forever, but it should be well vetted, so that any person that is coming into it will know that, okay, these things have been well verified. And then you take the risks, and then you see the result. Demand and supply. When demand outweighs supply, price goes up. When supply outweighs demand, price comes down. When demand equals supply, price is at equilibrium. That time in the market where you see market consolidation is an area where supply equals demand or demand equals supply. So let me do some example with the charts. Very simple before I just go through some straight stuff that you should take note of, and then that's all. Because at certain points in the market, we expect the market to just turn or retrace, either up or down. If the market is coming down, let's say if the market is coming down, and this is a supply level, market come down. When market is going up, we are very careful of this level, because at this point was where we see the market crash, go back down. So when markets come up again, we are very careful of this level, because there are a lot of sellers waiting here to push the market down. Now, if we see the market, okay, let me explain this first. Let's explain this first. So this is a supply level, because at this point we see the market come back right down. So when market approach this point, we want to see the market come back down again. This will happen at supply. At supply, when market goes down, not all sellers that were here get their position filled. Some position was left behind, and then that means that when market come back here, those positions will be filled. Not only that, short traders that are trading futures and other derivatives will jump into the market as well to move the market right now, because this is a supply level or supply zone. The same thing happened to demand. If markets was going up, markets from here go up, from here go up again, and then the market come back down into this level of demand, we expect the market to go up. Reason why, at this point when market move up with these full falls, not all buy orders were filled. Some of them were left behind. That also means that when markets come into this level or into this zone, those orders will get filled, coupled with long traders in the derivative market that will fill position for the market to move up. That's what happened at supply and demand. We have a very source of strength of market resistance or market being supported to go up at supply and demand. Now, the question is supply and demand support and resistance? The answer is no. It's just like those of us that did science. It said enzymes. Enzymes are proteins. That means all enzymes are proteins, but not all proteins are enzymes. That's what happened in supply and demand. All demand levels or all demand zones are supports. All demand zones are support, but not all supports are demand zone. Not all support level are demand zone. The same thing to supply. Supply zone are resistance, but not all resistance are supply zone. So you have to understand these concepts in that way. Is very important so that you don't get it twisted or you don't miss it. Okay. All right. So if I come here, so okay, I was trying to explain something here the other time. Let's say, for example, this is a very strong supply, market crash down, the market approaches level again, and then you do not see momentum that signifies that market is going to go down. Maybe market is moving sluggishly from this area, which is not supposed to be so. That at supply, market begin to move sluggishly. It also indicates that there is no much sellers here to push the market down that much. So therefore, this impulse is very much valid. This retracement is also very valid for market to move up again. These are concepts that will help you from other traders out there that they don't know. When we're not talking about indicator, you can use an indicator for confirmation, but the advantage is in this small logical critical analysis. That's where the advantage lies. Now, how can you figure out a supply and a demand zone? In Forex, there's what we call order block. Order block is not support and demand, it's different thing. In crypto, I prefer talking about demand and supply compared to other blocks. Some person would prefer other block, but they seems to do the same thing. How can you recognize a demand zone or a supply zone? It's very simple. You come here, where you see 3 straight bullish candle is a supply, is a demand zone or level. Where you see 3 straight bearish candle is also a supply zone. 3 straight bullish to the upside, demand zone. 3 straight bearish to the downside, supply zone. It works based on the higher time frame. It works based on the higher time frame. Just give me a few minutes, please. A few minutes. So if you look at this, this is the 1-day chart. This is a very strong supply zone. Market move from here down. Do see the resistance of the market from here to this is supply zone. Bearish candle more than 3. This is a very strong supply as well. Then we have a good demand here, which also hold the market at this point. Market go up from here. So demand here, market goes up. If you look at this, is also a demand zone. Market break through it with this full force. Demand zone. Remember this demand. This was not demand in the past. This was support because it was not a 3 straight candle. If you look at this, this is a very strong demand zone. Around this area, market move up drastically. If you look at this area too, market begin to. So as we are seeing this sluggish, market will move in big, but it will not break this resistance. Market crash back down. This is also a very strong demand zone. At this point too, see the market move slightly up. This is an indication that there is not enough buyers here to move the market up, to counter the sellers that are moving the market down. Market crash again. You see this zone here? It's a very strong it's a very strong demand zone. Rather, this area too is a very strong demand zone. It's a 38 here. Okay. So these are demand. How do you draw them out? It's just the same way we draw our support resistance. Where I said you should use, instead of using this big candle, you can use this one and this level. Okay, that's a level. And then this one, instead of using this, you can use this. Under this level is a demand, the demand zone. It is a demand zone. This is supply. Market go down. If you look at it in the future, market got resisted, it come down. If you look at this also, supply here, market come back down, market come into it, got resisted, come back down. This same point of resistance holding the market here, market come back down. Now let's look at the past. Look at the past here. See this point here, demand level. This was the point we were seeing spikes all here in the market for this little move, and then after then market go down a little bit and the market move up. These are very important, especially from 4-hour chart above. It will help you know possible area where market can pump from, and also it will help you know possible area where market can crash from. Either way, in case of a demand, where market will pump from, in case of a supply, where market will crash from. It will also help you in, setting your stop loss and take profit targets. Because if you know that certain level is a supply level, then if you place your take profit there, it's a good thing, because at that point you are expecting market to retrace, or market can just maybe market was coming with a very strong fall. It can just maybe slightly go above the level and come back down. So it's when you see these structures on your chart, it gives you a prior information that market is going to do this, it's going to do that. Please position like this, position like that. So that's very, very important. Demand and supply levels, they are very, very important. DMR and OMD technique. You go to this site, coinmarketflow.com. Coinmarketflow.com. This is just, I don't find that very, very useful in these days. That is why I've removed it in the upcoming curriculum. Put other stuff that are working. Remove it. But let me just teach you guys. So you can look for global beats, global acts, global volume, and all of those stuff. It gives you a lot of global stuff in the market. So therefore, giving you other harmful information. All right, so this only work majorly for, what I want to show you now, work majorly for altcoins, okay? For altcoins majorly, that's Ethereum, BNB, any coin that is on Bitcoin. Don't use it on Bitcoin, it may not see anything. So we have vcdev.io, or go to coinmarketflow.com. If you search here, let's say we search for what we'll search for now. So let's search for BNB. So you click on BNB. Okay. Now, when this come out, this is Binance Market. And then if you go down, click on this place, click on MDR, market depth ratio. You choose this one. So you choose this one. Then when you choose that, you click here, that's tick this box. That's a price. You go here, go to your charts, put this on BNB USDT. Let's check some things out. Okay. and then I will this is 1 day chart, one hour chart, sorry. This is 1 hour chart here. One hour chart here. Then if you go to this place, this is this point. See, this is a 0% mark. From this point up, you see the percentage is it 10%, 20%, 80%, -10, -20, -30. So we can say that this is also the price of BNB, okay? The price of BNB. So from here, upward is MDR positive. From here, upward is MDR positive. This is on 1 month chart. On 1 day, sorry. From here, from this point, upward is MDR positive. Then from 0 down is MDR negative. Now this is how it works. When MDR, two ways. When MDR is extreme negative and price drops with it, maybe into the negative zone, is it the right time to buy the market? If you look at these points, you look at MDR entering this area, that was around 3 p.m. Okay, let's say before we see this one. Before this one was this one, so this is also extreme because it's higher than the previous one. Extreme here. Now this one price was down, but price was not into it. Let's look at the first one here. At this point, this was look at the timing here. This way the time is what? Okay, look at the time here. If you guys seeing this thing now, you guys are seeing this thing. So from here, if I move this, you see these numbers are changing. If you look down, you may not see it accurately. It's not reflecting down. But if you look at this point where it is now, it was 4:20 a.m. This West African time, what? Then if you go here, from 2 o'clock was this point. So this area was the right time. That is no 2:40, right? So that's almost 3 o'clock. That's like 20 minutes to 3. This is a nice time to buy the market, for market to go up. It is most very, very perfect when price, let's say this, for example, this price come into the negative side. That is, if price is negative, this is price now. Look at it, this is the color. Why MDR is green and red. Order flow. If you look at order flow here, this order flow at the bottom. But we're not looking at this very order flow. Our concentration is on MDR and price. I'm saying that if MDR is extreme negative or is negative and price, that this price come inside the negative zone, it's always a nice perfect time to buy. Seriously, very nice time to buy. Now, when MDR is extreme positive, if it's extreme positive and price is on the positive side, it's always also the a nice time to short. That doesn't mean that you just open your chart, open your trade, and place a short on maybe BTC USDT. If it's BTC USDT you're looking out for, or in this case, BNB USDT, no. You still have to use your strategy, but this gives you an information that, okay, see, there's a signal here, a buy signal, or there is a sell signal here. Can you check, does it align with your strategy? If it is yes, then take a position, take a trade. It's a problem. The MDR helps confirm as well for you. So if MDR is extreme negative and price falls into the negative zone, it's a nice time to buy the same thing. If it's extreme positive and price is up, it's a nice time to short. Let's look at Matic. So they will have some correlated. Remember, only for altcoins, not Bitcoin. So some of correlated there. Correlated advantage. Okay. It's an extreme position. Okay, let's check this out. This was 725. Let's check 725. 725 and 715. 725 and 715. 725 Matic USDT. 725 This is 7 o'clock now. The market is going to go up. This is 725 here. This okay, let's say 7 around this area. So the market is going to go up. It has not gone up yet. 7:15. That's 7 o'clock. That's 7 a.m. in the morning. 7 a.m. in the morning around this area. MDR was negative. MDR was negative here. 7:15. Look at here. 7:15 around this area. MDR was negative. So say market is going to go up. And market did. This was after a whole lot of time. We see MDR enter into the negative zone. This zero mark, negative. Market goes up from there. Like I said, I look for two things. Especially, it works perfectly when you see this price comes into the over. Sorry, I just overbought. If price comes down into the negative side, negative zone of the MDR, so it's a perfect time to buy. And MDR is negative. This red zone here is negative. This is another negative zone. From 0 down, it's negative. Then also perfect time to sell or to short when market price is up and MDR is positive, especially when they create extreme peaks and valleys. Extreme peaks and valleys. If you look at, let's say, what again? Okay, let's see whether there is Gala here. Okay, there's Gala. This is the first extreme negative. This is 345. Today, come here, Gala. Gala. 345. What's around this area? Around this area. So India was giving you a sign of a good buy. Market did not go up much. If you look at it here, this was extreme. Market was here first, then here extreme negative, good buy, and then here again, Market spike up. Here too, we're giving you a good buy. Let's look at 925. 925 is around this area, right? This, okay, where this candle is coming now. Is it telling you it's a good buy? Let's look at whether tomorrow markets will move from here. Like I said earlier, if you see a good buy like this on the MDR, it's not like you should just jump and take a trade. Does it align with your strategy? If yes, then that's correct. That's what we call factors of confluence. You look for area of alignment. When you look at confluences in the market, it will help you. That's good. That's why we are showing you most of these things. It will help you to have this confidence that, okay, market is going to go up or market is going to come down. So it's very, very important in noticing. Okay, let's look at again another one. Let's look at okay, let's look at which other coin? Okay, let's look at Sandbox. We change to Sand. So right here, you see extreme negative. Price was just coming out of the negative side. We know this could have been the perfect one for me. It's going to be the perfect one. One of the negative side is 0. One of the negative side here. This was, if you look at it, this was 11 p.m. yesterday. That's 24th. Look at it will reflect here. Okay, so if you look at it, if I put it here, this is 11 p.m. That's to 12. Sorry, past 12. Yesterday being 14th February 2022. You come here to search for 14. Okay, this is around this area. Around this area. The reason why I say it's perfect is because price, if you look at price, was slightly at over and the negative side of the end of this chart here. The negative side. That means MDR and price was at the same side. So it gives a whole lot of good strength that market is going to move from here. Not only that, if you look at it, this is very strong support. This is a very strong support. If you go back to your forward chart, that market has been ranging here for maybe a day or two from this area. So from here, markets move up. MDR was very, very perfect on this. Let's look at the last one. Let's go to the last one. Okay, let's look at which coin again, which coin. Let's look at
Mana USDT.
Okay, let's look at Mana.
Prof, you don't start again, no?
Sol USD.
Mana. So let's look at Mana here. Okay, you see this one too. Price was at the negative side of this chart. MDR was negative as well. These are perfect ones. The one that price is already up and MDR is negative, you can still use it, but it's not perfect. This, like I said, that is very perfect. And then the one you see price is up and MDR is up, it's a good time to look for short opportunity. That's why I'm just looking at this area. So this is a nice time to buy. This was 1035. We look at it here, it reflects here. So look at it at this point. If I put it here, see 1040, it's 1035, around this 1040, 1035 around this area. 1035 watts West African time. So if we go to Mana, here, this was this is 10, right? This 22, okay, this 10, this area. market pump today from this point up to this point. So when you see it conclusively, when you see it, when you see price and MDR at the same zone, that's a negative side, it's a good time to look for buy opportunity. When you see price and MDR positive on the green side, it's a good time to look for short opportunity. That's just all for MDR and MOD technique. It works, so it works. Just for altcoin, please. Just for altcoin. Don't use it for Bitcoin. Let's try for Bitcoin whether you see anything. It's a very volatile pair. The BTC. MDI is not even negative side, so let's just forget about it. You see, MDI is just positive here, right? And price is up. No negativity on MDI, so it's you see all year from year up negative positive. So you see 0% positive. So like I said earlier, forget about it worked majorly on altcoins. Any question for tonight? This is past 10.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have questions.
Good evening once again.
Ask
there's this-
your question based on MACD. Number 2, ask based on demand supply levels. Ask based on spoofing and stop loss hunting. And the last one, ask based on MDR and MOD technique. Go ahead.
Okay, this spoofing and how big players manipulate the market, pumping and dump, and stop loss hunting / ideal stop. Is it are they the same?
They're the same thing. For you to place an
Okay.
ideal stop, like those topics we've made it together in the new curriculum, because for you to place an ideal stop, you have to understand spoofing and places that they can easily manipulate the market. That is why I said, if this is a very strong support. This is a very strong support. Market player know that if market try to pump from here, people will enter. Newbie will place stop loss here. Don't place, I've talked about this now. Don't place stop loss here. Number one is too close to this. Slight market move down will get you stop out. You look for the next support. If this, so you're taking a trade, is this way you're taking a trade, this is the first support. The next support we see in the market is this support here. This is the support I'm talking about. Support. You can place your trade slightly below this. Slightly below this support. That's where you place your stop loss. So that if market go down, they can move the market slightly down and move it up again. Or if it's going down, it should invalidate your setup. We'll talk about that.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a breakout trading strategy. Is it the one we did in basic class? I saw remaining course here, breakout strategy.
We've not talked about breakout trading strategy.
Yes, we've not done it. That's the only course I'm seeing unmarked here. That's number 4 out of 6 that was remaining. We've done everything now. The only thing
we did it in where? In basic course?
No, just basic course, normal trend line. Now when it breaks your trend.
No. If we've not treated that, then we'll treat that on Friday. I was not marking this thing. That's why you see I'm not very firm on
okay, that's the only course remaining because I carefully marked them. Then there's another little complaint, please, sir. I called King David because I had to cross-check those curriculum as you recommended last time. So we discovered in basic class 19, we did not do ESMA and EMA strategy. So I don't know whether you try to synchronize that coming class, just
SMA, EMA training strategy. David did not touch it, you guys.
Yes, he told that. Yes, I called him. He was saying that in fact, it is our fault because we were supposed to cross-check the curriculum like this and relate to him that we omitted this, but we did not do that. It was just I decided to do that through just yesterday, I decided to go through all of them and then map out anyone that we have not done. So Discovery will omitted that one.
Okay,
And just
so
like this one, I counted that one.
okay, so on Friday will be very long, and okay, that means on Friday we'll treat that breakout. We'll treat
2 topics.
SMA EMA, and then SMA EMA is not a big deal. Right? So it's a very simple stuff. It's an indicator. It's an indicator.
Okay.
So it's not a big deal.
Excel.
And then
Is Elliott Wave not
Yes.
there too?
no Elliott Wave.
Elliott Wave.
not-
Elliott Wave is
it's-
not here.
It's not in the.
It's not there in that
it's not in the
this thing.
curriculum.
Ah.
You know, we can't teach everything now.
Because I worked with the curriculum.
If we teach everything, Elliott Wave, we don't
Uh,
that means we will not end the class. If you want to learn a lot, like let's say you want
Okay.
to talk about all indicators that are here. Everybody will now talk, say, we've not talked about Ikumuchi, Ichimoku.
Okay, Ichimoku. That one is in the channel. I've learned itself.
So what I'm trying to say is that we just try to compress everything to maybe what is necessary. Elliott Wave is good, but if you understand momentum trading, it's the same thing. Not that it's perfectly
Okay.
the same thing, but if you understand momentum trading very well, I think there's something about Elliott Wave pattern telling you the ABCD pattern.
Okay. Okay, please, Mr. Paradise, there's this advice you gave to us. I have a little question there. I don't know whether you attend to it. Very important. You will
Last
help
class.
Professor,
everybody.
stop doing this. Let others
Last
ask
class.
questions, please.
Last
Stop doing
class.
this, Prof. Stop doing this.
Okay.
Prof, stop
Okay.
it. Stop it, please.
Last
Huh?
last
I'll let you take
class.
class.
Which
You
last
for
class
leave
is that?
am now, you feel benefit from
No.
The question is
It-
very
it-
important.
benefit from
It's okay. It's okay. Which last class? Which last class is that?
Okay. Last class, you rightly advised us that once there is war is going on, we should convert all our coins to USDT. So my question there is, are we going to be allowed to short the market that time
To do
by
what?
exchanges in charge? Are we going to be allowed to short the market by exchanges in charge? 2, what of forex traders?
See now, better question now.
Yes. Now, wait,
Yeah,
let me
go
ask
on,
the
go on.
question. No, okay. Number 1, are we going to be allowed to shut the market that time by exchanges in charge? 2, what of forex traders? Is it going to be functioning as it has to do with investment opportunity when compared? Okay, as it has, as it doesn't have,
Your question,
as
not-
it
your
has
question,
less
not- your question not
investment
finished.
opportunity when compared to crypto. Finally, which is 3, those countries that are not involved in the war, are they going to be allowed to buy or sell crypto in some
It's
crypto
all right.
exchanges?
It's all right. The question is a very funny question. Yeah, you're going to be allowed to to short the market. You still want to short the market and make money even when there's war. It's
That's
well.
all now.
When we are not involved.
So have you also thought about it that okay, what if the place that the exchange is situated is where the war is happening? So how can you now trade? How can you now trade? I was talking about if you are holding crypto for a long time, especially this period, it will be a very bad time. Although, like I said earlier, there were dialogue today in Moscow about this problem. It will be very bad in that there is war right now where the market is. We are expecting market to recover, and there is war. Market will now drop. Those of us that we are holding point for a long time, and maybe market pump, and we see a whole lot of profit, market reduce. We know that market will say pick up back again. It's the market to pick back up, and then we are now seeing this kind of problem. It's very big. We will just be forced to sell off, and then keep some of your money somewhere else. Don't only think about shorting. Even though you will short, you can take just small amounts and short, but ensure you move your money from exchange. Move it. That's my advice. Move it from exchange to your wallet. Don't be greedy.
With
If you are
USDT.
into USDT. If
Okay, wallet is very safe.
yes, wallet is very, very, very safe. If
I have
you
question
are a
for
forex, if you're a forex trader, that one is different. You can see short if the broker runs. That one there's no problem too, because war is disaster now. So it is after the war that people that have money, people that survive, and then you now have money. Hey, let's say you cannot top of maybe the trade. So that's any other question, please.
Yes,
Can I ask question, Prof? Prof, can I ask?
Yeah, ask.
Ask the question.
Prof, my gosh. Anyway, yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, thank you.
First of all, I think I came late into the class. The other issue of spoofing, I didn't quite get it. Whether it's a manipulation for those who set a stop loss thing, whether they do it to be against them. Number one. Then number two, understanding the market structure before taking the trade. Sometimes where I got to understand during my research that when market is ranging, it's a good time to take a trade because you actually cannot tell a good story of the market. It is either market is upside or downside.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So again, let's assume the trade you want to take. At that moment, market is ranging. So is there any techniques one can use to take a trade within that ranging moment?
If market is ranging,
I have two questions, sir. Spoofing and
yes, two. Yeah, okay. When it comes to spoofing, spoofing is, you can call it market manipulation by big players in the markets. Since you came late, you watch the recording. I think it's the first thing we talk about, so that we give room for others to also. So if you see markets range, go back down. Which class were you, Johnny?
17.
That was David class.
David.
When you see market range, this market range, the difference between consolidation and ranging market. In the ranging markets, you can trade the ranging markets. The only markets you can't trade is consolidating market. When market is consolidating, that means when the candle is appearing side by side. You see this kind of market here that appears at this point here. This area. On this time frame, you cannot trade it. This is a consolidating market here. It's consolidating. Now, in a ranging market, in this case,
ranging and consolidating, they are two different things.
They are two different things, yes.
I know you said that during consolidation, you wait for a breakout, right?
Yes. I know in a breakout here. I know in a breakout.
Yes. I'm seeing that already.
Now, when market range, you count two resistance to supports. The third ones are the right time to place trades. Are you getting it now? Hello? Hello? Baby? I can hear you, yeah.